What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bolsley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only, Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's happening, buddy?
Oh, having a good time trying out some new games. We're
Awesome.
looking at 12 minutes, some Psychonauts 2, checking a few things out.
Yeah, lots on the go. Just like coming up on September 17th and 18th is the 24-hour live stream for Big Brothers Big Sisters charity, The Big Game. Stop by, check out, help us, donate, support a great cause. You can find more information over on insidethegame.ca. Just like this show is over there as well as podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, well, what's happening with Halo Infinite? Because there's a lot of different things going on right now when it comes to the campaign, and they're actually changing up the multiplayer and how you earn XP. I don't know how that's going to go, but we will talk about it. That's for sure. And Discord, dude, they turned down a $12 billion offer from Microsoft.
Holy.
What is happening, man? Who does that?
I don't know if I could physically sign that, whether it was my company or not.
I could. Watch this.
The decline email? Oh.
Yeah, no, I couldn't decline that at all. I don't know, man. That takes a lot of nerve to do that. But hey, we will get into it. Let's get into what's happening with the Halo Infinite campaign. Was not really shown over at Gamescom. Why is that? Well, Halo Infinite received quite the spotlight during Gamescom on One Night Live showcase, including the reveal of the game's December 8th release date. Awesome to know, finally, isn't it, Scott? Oh, man.
Yeah, the official release.
That's right. But more of the game's campaign wasn't shown, and that was kind of the thing that got people a little concerned. Fans were disappointed when Halo's Infinite campaign failed to make an appearance during Gamescom, citing concerns they were concerning the game's release is just a couple months away, and that the last campaign to be shown was a year ago. Right? However, 343 Industries has seen and heard the disappointment over the campaign's lack of appearance during Gamescom Halo Infinite, and has heard, and the head of creative, Joseph Staten, has then addressed this and reported by GameSpot. Quote, "We're at a critical phase in the flight that is Halo Infinite, so it's extremely important to avoid distractions and stay focused on mission-critical tasks only." Staten wrote in the latest Inside Infinite news post, quote, "For campaign, that means putting maximum effort into ensuring the wide open, adventure-filled experience you'll all get to play on December 8th is as great as it can possibly be. And gameplay demos trailers not only take a huge amount of effort to do all this well, they also take cycles away from bugs and other shutdown tasks." Scott, it kind of makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a good technical answer for why it doesn't come around, but at the same time, it's a little scary now, because we've heard that they're trying to focus all their attention on the campaign.
Yeah.
So I would hope that is nearing completion. There's a month left, so...
Well, that's just
two months rather till December. That's getting close to it now.
We're starting to run out of time, right? But Staten continues, quote, "I hope all of you take comfort in the fact that, honestly, I can't wait to get back home, fire up the build, and hit continue on the campaign." How does that make me feel good, Scott?
Yeah, don't worry, guys. The food tastes great. You'll get yours soon.
I was just like, man, that doesn't make me feel good. Staten said, "No matter how many times I play, Halo Infinite remains fundamentally super fun to play, and we're very eager to share all the fun with you through captured gameplay, trailers, and other content once we get that plane safely on the ground." Man, that was just a weird continuation. Like, I'm just like, okay, great, you're playing it. I expected you to play it, but how well does it play? Like, all of us want to see. We all saw that campaign release trailer. Dude, it did not go over very well, so they went back to the drawing board, or at least a couple steps back, to continue on to fix what the negative feedback has addressed, and we'll see how the changes are, but no one's seen any of these changes, and then that's the biggest concern, right?
Yeah. Well, and it comes with the news of it being a live service event as well. That just adds to that kind of worry that I had of, well, like, are we going to get the first act of the campaign and then wait a year? I really hope not. I doubt they would do something like that, but it's just the things I'm thinking of.
Well, yeah, and just to highlight, if anybody kind of missed last week's episodes, Co-op isn't coming at launch, and neither is Forge mode. Co-op's coming 3 months later, and Forge mode is coming 6 months later in the next season, right? So they're talking about implementing seasons now into with Halo Infinite and how all that's going to work. So that's a little concerning that we're already missing some of these issues, and then we didn't see anything on the campaign as well, knowing it's only a few months away now, right? Hopefully all is well. But I absolutely understand where Staten's coming from, too. The fact that if we do cut a trailer to show you gameplay, now we're taking away staff, we're taking away hours, we're taking away this, that, and the other, so they can address getting this trailer composed versus working on the main campaign, getting the bugs fixes, getting everything done and polished, ready for launch, being only a few months out, right? So fingers crossed.
I suppose it's one of those titles that they really didn't have to release any trailers. They just have to tell you a new Halo is coming this date. That's really all that's necessary.
That's right.
But trailers, I thought, would have been taken care of some sort of a media team, some sort of a marketing division, but
sure,
I suppose not.
I guess not. But Scott, there's more news in the world of Halo, and this one comes, dude, this one really seems a little off-putting. I know I was talking to some friends last night, and they're really concerned about this. The Halo Infinite Battle Pass is challenged base, as there is no traditional match XP.
Oh, okay.
All right, so they were changing up how we're earning our XP, and I don't know how well this is going to strike a chord with a lot of players. There's a lot to dive into, so get ready, Scott. Players of Halo Infinite should know that there isn't traditional match XP in multiplayer. Instead, you will progress with the Battle Pass by completing challenges. This is according to John Jinzek, community manager for 343 Industries, who stated as much on Twitter. Even though this means there will not be per match XP at launch, dude, is that like another feature we get later? Like, this is
and why? That would be puzzling.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you will always be progressing through challenges, and therefore the Battle Pass. Note, Battle Pass is free, Scott. So that's a good side, right? But at the same time, John also said during the recent tech preview that there was an issue that caused people to run out of challenges. Current plans at launch will make it extremely difficult to run out of daily challenges. But that said, it's not impossible due to grinders out there. Dude, Nate, myself, Kyle, and Ben, like there's a bunch of us that jumped on to Red Dead Online, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Nate would go and he would grind out every single daily challenge. Kyle and I were on the more of the focus of we really just need to complete one so we can keep our gold growing. Here, it sounds like there's going to be that same kind of issue going on. But if you want and grind it, if you're going to grind it like Nate did, then you have the ability to, wipe it all out. And then what do you do? Because you're not earning XP. I think this is the biggest thing. Because you don't earn XP here, you just do the challenges to get rewarded. But if you're out of challenges that day, why play the game anymore?
Well, I suppose I would hope that when you run out of challenges, that means you've run out of reward or you've reached the end of the battle pass. I assume there will be some sort of a seasonal reset with that, the way battle passes always work. But I don't know if it's even fair to call that grinding the challenge. Is that just that I enjoy the game, so I play it a lot? Is that considered a grind? Because I'm not going to be necessarily shooting for triple kills. Those just come when they mean to.
Yeah, but dude, that could be your daily challenge that day. That's the other side of it, right? Use the Needler, get 15 kills, win 10 matches, drive a Warthog over somebody. Like, there's all these challenges, and then half these challenges, most times, dude, I don't really care to do, but if they're in the Battle Pass, then maybe I'll kind of gear towards them. Maybe that's what they're hoping to do. But if I have to get on a Warthog and run somebody over every time, I'm not going to want to do this every single day. I know they're going to have a variety of daily challenges, but how often do you want to see that challenge pop up again? Yeah, it's fun to run somebody over, but you know what I mean, right? Grab a Needler, shoot somebody. I'm like,
I kind of see it as almost similar to achievements. Sure. There's an achievement, I think it was in Reach, where you get a splatter kill with the mongoose that was just a little bit harder than usual. So if it's something like that, I think that's interesting, especially if it gives you a badge or a trophy or something in the likes of PlayStation to mark that occasion. But
sure.
Well, that's a whole lot of stuff yet to be seen.
Well, absolutely. There's also more in what's going on here. Quote, our first issue was that we failed to call the challenge deck of challenges that could not be completed with bot-only matches, said Hook. This caused players to get blocked behind these challenges and is not our intent for launch. We also missed some tuning for our daily challenges that cause them to refresh. This also caused players to get blocked as they would run out of daily challenges. Dude, this is the other side of it, right? There's a lot of concerns going here, and I'm curious to see how it's going to pan out. I know a lot of people are pretty pumped, and everybody who jumped into it felt good and felt like it was back at home playing with the Halo multiplayer. So definitely curious to see how this approach is going to change. Will this approach, Scott, here's my question for you. Will this approach change the infrastructure of multiplayer games moving forward? Or do you think Halo is just off in their own little kind of niche group here, creating something different?
I think this is a uniquely Halo situation. If it catches on, it absolutely could be adopted by other kind of multiplayer games. But
sure,
the one that I keep going back to thinking of is Siege. Do you think Rainbow Six Siege would have a challenge-based kind of thing? It could be interesting, but the kind of the high pace of it, the seriousness of the game kind of doesn't allow for that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah, it just makes me kind of curious to see where all this is going to lie, right? He says, using challenges, our goal is that you will always be earning progress in your battle pass through playing and winning matches. This will allow you to always jump into a game of Halo and make progress on your goals. Unique twist, Scott. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out on December 8th when everything launches. And of course, we all know now that the Halo multiplayer is also free to play.
Yeah, so I hope to see you there.
That's yeah, free to play. The battle pass is going to be free. I wonder if they'll have a paid tier at all, or are you always just going to be in there? Like, they got to keep the lights on somehow, Scott. What are they going to do to keep that going?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it'll be a step towards that, but that would be a negative to me because you're already kind of grabbing everybody with this battle pass. It's a different sort of idea. So if that was really just to kind of hide that they're going to monetize a regular XP set, that doesn't sit right with me.
I don't think it would sit right with a lot of people, right? That would be a little bit of a dirty move. But let's get into the world of what Discord's up to. Discord shoots for $15 billion value as social media exodus continues. Oh, man. Discord is so hot right now with a growing list of interest from potential business partners. Twitter, Amazon, and Epic Games included. Its CEO and founder, Jason Critton, even had the balls to reject a $12 billion Microsoft takeover. Oh, man, who does that? Now, in the wake of an apparent exodus from social media to private chat services, Critton is vying to capture the hearts of non-gamers and big investors alike with plans to up the company's worth to around $15 billion taking shape. Dude, that is a huge $3 billion they want to add to that $12 billion. Are you kidding me?
This is Discord is a free to use app as well. So I know you can put money into it to kind of get more and more advantages to your chat lobby, but there isn't enough there to, in my eyes, to create $1 billion. Never mind 15.
It's really interesting, right? In an interview with Financial Times, Critton says there is this big trend of people shifting away from broadcast wide open social media communication services to more small, intimate places. That's great news for private chat services like Discord. We're a meaningful part of how that's evolving on the internet, adds Critton. Since the pandemic hit, more and more gamers had begun luring their friends into the platform in lieu of meeting face-to-face, and the company's new Imagine a Place campaign, a movie starring Danny DeVito, is helping fuel the dream and harvesting non-gamers alike. Dude, we all shifted over to Discord like heavily, right? We all needed the backup going, okay, our show can't kind of continue on the way it is. How do we keep our show viable and alive? And that's what we did. We're on Discord right now. Right? That's the biggest thing. And so are a lot of people. Our community is always growing. So hit us up over at Discord, over at insidethegame.ca is probably the easiest way to find us. Hit that Discord link and you can join, right? But that's a lot of people. That's what they're doing right now is they're chatting either face to face on there like we are, or they're actually just typing away and growing a community, and that service is growing and growing. And now they're looking at $15 billion growth. That's incredible.
That's a lot, but I can't believe the number on that. It's so big because I think that's like every man, woman, and child on this planet times 1.5,
I was
like
gonna say,
$1.50. It's just so much.
dude, it's too early for math in the morning. What are you doing to me? But seriously, would you have turned down $12 billion offer from Microsoft?
No, I don't think I would have.
No.
Unless that money was all tied up somewhere, and no part of it was mine. But even then,
Yeah.
it would just be something I would consider and then sign on the dotted line, I believe.
Dude, that would have came in the wake of Bethesda purchase as well, right? The ZeniMax monstrosity of a massive purchase when the game company, we've never seen anything like that, $7.2 billion. And then they offered Discord $12 billion. Can you imagine if they got both companies in the same year?
How big is that bank account, man? Do they have trillions?
Microsoft is rolling in it. Yeah, clearly they have a lot of money. They're in the billions. Like, they're not even millions anymore, man. They're talking billion-dollar purchases, right?
I'm surprised there isn't a Microsoft acquired island somewhere.
I'm sure there is. Bill Gates has got his feet up, sipping on a margarita somewhere.
Dude. Orbiting Mars at the moment.
He's just circling around. Yeah, this is my spaceship. There's my island, and there's Microsoft. That's I don't know if that's how it works, but that's kind of how it's going. But
that's
dude,
how I'd be doing it.
Seriously, that would have been a huge shift in the industry too, right? It was already a massive announcement when they took over ZeniMax. A lot of people kind of panicked and go, "Uh-oh." Like, okay, if I'm a PlayStation fan, then how am I going to capitalize on playing any of Bethesda games? Well, they're holding true right now to the fact that Deathloop is launching this month coming. Yeah. I guess we're still in the August. But yeah, we can get into September, right? You're going to get Deathloop. Microsoft has always played nice, though. That's the best thing about them, right? They're like, oh, no, we'll honor these deals, so we're going to keep this over here. But what we're going to do, though, is now when you want to play the next Elder Scrolls, there's only one place you can play that. When you want to play Starfield, yeah, you got to come to Microsoft. You got to play it on the Xbox services, right? So there's that hook now. They've been able to pull these big IPs in, Scott, and keep them now for themselves, because over the last decade and a half, people have really kind of going, well, what exclusive games do we have over here on Xbox, right? There's nothing really exclusive that's going to tie people in or pull people in that we've kind of seen how PlayStation does it, right? You got Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, and all these other games that keep coming as an exclusive. And you don't have that over on Xbox. Well, all of a sudden now, because of this massive purchase, you do. And then they were talking to Discord at the same time. Oh, man, what a shift that would have been, too.
Just wait for Microsoft to purchase the rights exclusively for the entire Marvel universe.
Oh,
at this point, I don't know if it's out of reach.
Right, billions of dollars. Anything is possible. But I think Marvel's doing just fine the way they are right now. So
yeah,
there's that new game too, something Sun I saw as well. I'm curious to see how that one pans out. But I don't know, lots of stuff in the works. Dude, let's get it moving on here to the Elden Ring. There's a lot of previews that went up. A lot of outlets were able to take about 16 minutes of coverage. And here's what's going on in the world of Elden Ring. If you've been a little curious, I think we all have a rough idea of what we're in for, but we still don't know exactly what we're into, right?
Yeah.
But recently, journalists were given a look at 16 minutes of the game during a closed-door session. And what they saw were several features of the game, including a look at the map and the world at large. In the game, which is set in the lands between, players will be able to explore the world at their own pace with as much freedom as possible. Dude, that's cool. Like, okay. That's interesting to hear already, right? From software spokesperson, dude, you gotta help me out here.
Yasuhiro Kitao. I'm gonna go with that.
All right, we'll go with that. Told the Washington Post, the world feels rather emergent as well and will be full of hazards too. For instance, you can be riding along toward your next destination and all of a sudden a dragon will drop out of the sky and engage you. Dude, just like that, just out of nowhere. Like, nothing scripted, right? So, according to Kitao, the game isn't really an open world title, but as GameSpot summarized, it is indeed an open world game. But what?
What?
Yeah, this is where it gets a little confusing. But one that's cut from the same cloth as The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, compared to your typical large-scale open world where you can almost get lost. Instead, it feels more dense than overly large. And because of this, there's always something players will be drawn to on the horizon, as curiosity will be your guide instead of points of interest on a map. That comes away of per GameSpot. Dude, that's a cool little take.
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
That makes
it's
a lot of
interesting
sense.
they use Breath of the Wild to explain that. I sort of understand because
Yeah.
you're kind of just more directed by the landscape that you're going through instead of a specific target that you're trying to fight through. But at the same token, I'm pretty sure you can go everywhere in Breath of the Wild, even the boss fight, immediately. So that's about as open world as it gets.
Well, kind of, right? Story-wise, Elden Ring will feature multiple paths and endings, no surprise. And instead of the story of the world alone, you can expect the game to also focus on the characters and the drama surrounding them, so as to paint a clearer picture and help players become more immersed. I think that's a cool twist, because that's something they've never really focused on in the past. They've really kind of been focused on the world and kind of the genre they've just kind of built upon themselves. Hey, Scott?
There's some characters that stand out. I forget his name now. Oh, that's gonna bug me. The Praise the Sun guy. You know, if you play Dark Souls, you know who that is.
Sure.
There's the Knight of Sigmar. There's a couple different characters that come up, but this is not too surprising that they're gonna try and focus on that more so, because
Sure.
I think they got a lot of results, some positive results from Sekiro.
Absolutely. And let's get into that too, because as far as gameplay, according to various outlets, it will feel familiar to those who have played Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and Sekiro, in that you can dash out of the way and parry, but per polygon, there's another combat mechanic called guard counter, where you can respond after blocking. But it will cost stamina. And of course, you can also expect the gameplay to be rather challenging. No surprise to that one, Scott.
Yeah, I don't think From Software is going to come up with a shooter or a sim game very often.
No, not whatsoever, right? Yeah, here's a platformer. Dude, can you imagine?
Yeah. Oh, that would be so brutal, though. I almost don't want to imagine.
That would be so tough. Other familiar aspects will include fast travel, an NPC that will help you learn new skills and level up, and there will be a hub where friends and allies will appear. Scott, how does that make you? Does that make you excited at all? Friends and allies will appear. So we get into some kind of co-op aspect now within Elden Ring?
Well, I feel like they would have explained it more expressly as co-op, but
Sure.
this kind of just gives me the idea. It comes up a terrible amount of times, that PlayStation Home feeling,
Oh,
where
what are you
you
doing?
load up your house and you can see the avatars of your other friends and stuff that have been online, but I don't know if that means that you'll be able to interact necessarily. I
Okay.
hope so, because that would be amazing.
So here's my. I'm not a Dark Souls fan or a player whatsoever, so you got to help me out here, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Dark Souls or Demon Souls where you can actually call for help?
You can actually, yeah. You find items, you use them in the world.
Right.
It leaves a stain on the ground, and if your friend finds that same mark on the ground, you can teleport into their world.
So maybe that's what we're getting into then here.
That would be 100% acceptable, because it is just kind of off to the side. You don't ever have to do that,
Right.
but it is there.
That seems like a cool way to kind of implement some co-op aspect if you really want it, but don't have to have it in there, right? So we'll see what happens. But dude, I think they're really focused on the main campaign, the single player experience, and from there open up opportunities to bring in other people. But dude, just to have a dragon swoop down and start interacting with you could be so cool. Like, I want to try it, but these games are so challenging, dude. They just irritate the crap out of me.
No, that is by design, because
I
when you
know.
inevitably do break through the mold, it's a rush.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many times I've stood up and yelled at the highest I could because I finally beat somebody, you know? Oh.
No, that is sick for sure. Dude, we'll be getting this game on January 21st for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. It's almost everywhere, dude. Almost
That
everywhere.
sounds exciting to me to have a release date, but at the same time, I have to make that R.R. Martin joke. Do we know that this is 2022 or?
yeah, it's January 21, 2022. No, it's not.
Okay.
Actually, well, yeah, it's supposed to be 2022. Maybe it's 2024. Maybe that's what's happening.
I'm worried we're gonna find that out soon.
It's been delayed to another 2 years away. But Scott, we have no new game releases or announcements for today, because that's going to wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as YouTube. If you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see everybody tomorrow inside the game.